Hi, and welcome to the 8 Traits of Executive Presidents. I'm David Smith. Thank you for coming on this particular blog and looking at executive presence. I want to expand the conversation around executive presence. As you can see on the website, that we have the 8 characteristics of executive presence, and it goes from reliability to composure, to trustworthiness to charisma. We can go on down the list in terms of what those 8 traits actually represent. I want to expand the conversation around executive presence because I want to say this as well, that executive presence can also be subjective. So we have to be very careful that we're not dodging a moving target. But I think these characteristics give us some sense of what executive presence is. But oftentimes we have to think about the culture that we abide in, the culture that exists within the culture within the company that we're working with. So there's a lot of factors. It depends on the leadership style and what they're looking for. But I think we get some foundational pieces together around the 8 traits. I believe we can move the needle in the right direction. So if someone is saying to you, a manager or a leader, that you should perhaps work on your executive presence, dig a little deeper. Ask them what that is. How do they define it? How does that fit into the current role that you're in or the promotion that you're going after? So expand the conversation with your managers. In that expansion conversation, I want you to think about this as well. Not just the 8 traits, but here are 3 other pillars, I want to call them, that we can add to the conversation around executive presence. And that is that the core of all these 8 pillars that we're looking at right now, these 8 traits, these 8 characteristics, there are 3 particular ones that actually hold all these 8 together. So, in my particular practice, when I'm working with an executive or with an emerging leader, if you're young and you're starting out in your career, or you're midway through your career, or you're getting ready to be promoted, this conversation is for you as well. This is not about people who are already in their careers 10, 15, 20 years in. You can be just getting started. You could be within 10 years or 5 years. So I want this video is for everyone who's coming on this particular page, all age groups, all levels of career. And so I just want to make that very clear. This conversation is very much so inclusive of all age ranges and all experiences. Here are 3 particular areas I want to expand the conversation around executive presence, and that is character, substance, style. So those 8 traits, if you're looking at this and you're reading it, think about what traits of the 8 fits under character. What traits in the 8 traits fit under substance? What traits among the 8 fits under style? And so if I had more time with you today, I would definitely walk you through what each particular column actually is. What it means to have substance at work. What does it means to have substance? Is like cultivated qualities of mature leadership that inspires commitment, that inspires change, inspires growth, inspires development. They say you have a deep well of knowledge, a deep well of moral compass, a deep well of institutional expertise. You have substance. Your style could be a skill-based pattern. It could just your style of how you lead. So we have to think about style, not just dressing, not just a briefcase, not just the Mac on the table. It's much more complicated than that. So style is just how you actually, what patterns of leadership do you use on any given day that we can see this is your style. And then also your characters. What qualities that you embody around your identity, right? What's your character like? So I wanted to expand that a little bit and give you a little bit more in this particular video. We can go deeper, of course, and I'm just excited to have you here with the 8 traits. So take those 8 traits, think about the 3 axles that they actually sit on: character, substance, and style. Pull those things together, and I believe you have a great basis for executive presence. So I'm David Smith. I'm your executive coach. Thanks for coming to the blog, and I look forward to hearing from you.